Hello, everyone.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Well, how are you?
I'm doing good too. Thank
Good.
you.
Howdy, howdy.
Hello. I am just getting everything going here. Whoops. Okay. All right. Welcome, everyone. Is there another Abigail here? There is. Hello. All right. If ever anyone would like to get us started by introducing themselves, just tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you do. That would be great. Whoever would like to go first, go for it.
Sure, I can kick us off.
Sure.
My name's Gary Darley, and I am from Washington State, and I help grow and preserve wealth for those who are ready to change their financial trajectory so that they can live the life that they were meant to live. And I do that with a set of financial tools and strategies that have been creating wealth for generations.
Love that. Welcome back, Gary.
Good to be here.
Who would like to go next?
I can go next.
Yeah, go for it.
Hello, my name is Kayana Smith. I'm also from Washington State. I am the founder and owner of KLS Empowerment Coaching. I coach those who struggle with boundaries, confidence, self-respect, and are going through life transitions.
Awesome. Welcome. Are you far from Gary?
I'm in Arlington. Where are you from, Gary?
I am in a little tiny town called Oroville.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
So if you're familiar with Wenatchee, I'm about 2.5
Yeah.
hours north of Wenatchee, so right up against the Canadian border.
Okay, cool. Right on.
Amazing. All right, who would like to go next?
I can, since we'll just keep going for Washington State. Um, I'm Sadie, and I am the founder of Swift Assist Creative, and I'm an online business manager doing email marketing, ads, systems, funnels, anything on the back side of business. And I'm from Kelso, Washington, so I think I'm a little bit south of you. Uh, Kiwana, is that how you say your name?
Ayana.
Sorry. Kayana, okay. Yeah. Nice. And yeah, I've
Awesome.
been over to where Gary's at too, so it's a pretty country over there.
Welcome back. I love hearing everyone's pitches that return, like really like morph into nice, tight little things. Who would like to go next?
Shall I?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So hi all, myself Vishal, founder of Masterminds. We are extended tech team for businesses. Uh, we do websites, ads, and AI-oriented solutions, and we also cover hardware services. Um, we will just like act as a tech team for the businesses entirely. So this is what we actually cover, both software and hardware services for companies.
Awesome. Welcome back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Who would like to go next? I will call on people.
I can go.
Okay.
My name's Brooke. I'm a law student at the University of Virginia. In my third year, I focus on business law, and I'm in a class for startups. And so we have a networking requirement, and I figured I'd attend this to get to know you all.
This is your second time here. Yeah, and you bring the fire questions, so I love it. Thanks for
Thank
coming back.
you. Thanks.
Yes. Who's next?
Abby, hello. I'm back.
Hello.
I'm back.
Yes.
Hey, everybody. My name is Cody Dovishaw. I am now based out of Dallas, Texas. I am a life insurance and retirement specialist. I like to consider myself as a tax-free wealth strategist. So I really primarily focus on index universal life policies, but I also deal with final expense and all the boring crap nobody wants to talk about. So yeah, super happy to be back. It's been several weeks.
We're glad to have you. And we're going to need your closing skills tonight because Kenny will not be in attendance. So
I will be here.
you're on. Who would like to go next? Emily, I'm going to call you.
I had a feeling about that.
Mhm.
Um, my name is Emily Rosales. I am a brand strategist slash marketing coach. So I help solopreneurs or small businesses who feel overwhelmed, confused, or they feel like they're not getting the right type of visibility for their business. So I help them build a strong foundation, brand foundation, so that their marketing could be much more effective.
I love it. Welcome back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who would like to go next? There's only a couple of you. I'll go in order. Winnie?
Hi, everybody. This is my very first time here, so I just wanted to pop on to see what this is all about and just to connect with other people. My name is Winnie. I'm a mental health therapist and I'm based in Texas. My office is in Houston, Texas, but also I treat anybody virtually from all over Texas, and I just wanted to come on here to see if, like Cody said, nobody wants to hear the boring stuff, but I'm here for the boring stuff. So give me all of it.
Winnie, we could talk
Well,
about boring stuff
welcome.
together, I guess.
Hopefully it's not all that boring. And Cody is never really boring, so all right. I'll go. I will go to there's a couple people without their screens on. Jessica, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Jessica. I'm actually in Sydney, so it's it's Sydney, Australia. So when I found everybody is located in America, it's quite a shock to me. I'm a co-founder of Form Brain. We're building AI tools for office. Tries to build efficiency, do some sales up. We're here because my co-founder is also in the room. We're here because we would like to pick up some pitching skills. It's really nice to meet you all. Thank you.
Nice to meet you too. Welcome. Anyone else before the grand finale?
Okay, I'll go next because Jessica is actually my co-founder. We're both
Oh,
from Sydney, Australia. So a little bit more about our startup. It's actually a legal taxing, so we kind of work with local firms and try to improve their efficiency on all the paperwork. Yeah, that's all about us.
awesome. Welcome. It's so great that the two of you are together. Um, Before Nate introduces himself, if you would all like to drop your socials, your websites, your links is the word I'm looking for in the chat. That's a great place to connect with everybody directly. Nate,
So I'm the grand finale.
you're the well, yeah, phase
Where's
one.
Kenneth? Where's Kenneth at when you need him?
Penny won't be here tonight.
What's up, everybody? My name is Nate Dubois. I'm from New Jersey, and I'm the founder of Legend Initiative. It's the place where brands transcend. We specialize in strategy, storytelling, and brand relations. So if you want to become a legend in your industry, we're the team you work with.
Amazing. I'm Abigail, your host. Um, CFO, full charge accountant, and founder of the Business Kickstart Accelerator, which is for new and aspiring entrepreneurs to get a financial foundation under them. Um, I've also started a Discord to continue this conversation. So I'll drop the link in the chat for that. Um, it's still kind of new, so you'll have to just go with the flow in there. There's a few channels. I'm not really totally sure how Discord works, but we'll figure it out together. Um, you're all returning for the most part, except for a couple of you. So I do things a little bit differently. We host like a discussion instead of a round robin pitch networking session. And in December, we're discussing leadership. So tonight I was wondering who each of you have as a leader or mentor or whatever word you'd like to use to describe someone who leads you, and why have you chosen them? And if there's multiple, I'd love to hear, again, who and why. Anyone want to get us started? Nate?
I think most people already read what I put in the Discord, but the person that leads me is my little sister, adopted little sister. Low key, one of my closest friends that I met in college. Um, and she's basically my marketing assistant, business assistant. Like she kind of just helps me stay on track. And the reason that I chose her, um, mostly just familiar, just being familiar, right? She was always that person in my corner that made sure like I didn't get in trouble. She's a little sister, but sometimes she, keeps my head on tight. Sometimes I can spiral out, get mad, whatever. So I just chose her, right? I asked her one day, it was like, yo, I got this marketing thing, hiring people. There's a lot of work. I need help. Can you manage it? Can you put stuff on the calendar? She's like, all right, got you. And then from there, we just kept rocking. But mostly it's just that she's able to check me and I respect her and trust her enough to be able to like put me in the best situation to maximize what I can do.
That's amazing. I don't have an internal leader like that. I am the leader of my little thing that I've got going on. But that's making me think more about having like an internal leader. But I'll share about my external leaders, my mentors leader, Sadie.
Yeah, so my leader, her name is Sasha Davis, and she runs Sales Mama. And I just kind of randomly found her when I was not sure what I wanted to do. And she had this program for like VAs and OBMs, and I joined it. And it was kind of like a work at your own pace, but like have like check-in calls and like accountability calls. And she just has a way of it being inspiring. And so I went from like that course to like her actual like we do a couple calls a week, and if I have any sales like questions, or if I'm trying to turn a warm lead into a client, I will send her my like conversations, and she just gives me direction, and she gives me that confidence, and just like helps me close deals. Like 3 out of my 5 clients are from her. She's amazing. Yesterday I had a call with her. It was like a mini power hour, and I got off the phone with her after having like 2 weeks of just not really sure what to do. I booked 3 calls within 20 minutes after talking to her. She's just very confident, really great with how she like directs, and she's just amazing. I wouldn't be where I'm at without her. So I keep trying to get her in here. She might show up one of these times.
That's amazing. I just wrote that. I just wrote down direction and confidence. Like if I'm gonna look for an internal like leader for my business, those are two things I would like to see in a person. Love that. Anyone else?
I can go.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I have like a direct one-on-one mentor in a way like everyone else, but I do have 2 answers. One is a previous boss at one of my corporate jobs, and then one is a friend that I went to coaching school with. My previous boss, he has a very strong personality. He was very intimidating and hard to get to. And something about me is I know how to get through to people who are hard to get to. And he's always had a soft spot for me in particular, especially because at the time I was one of the youngest in the company. And he always believed in me and all that stuff. So even when I was before I started working for myself, I would even come to him asking him stuff about my previous employer that wasn't normal, and he was affirming me like, yeah, that's not normal kind of thing because I was in an abusive, toxic job before I started working for myself. And then I would say my friend in coaching, she's had three businesses, and her coaching business is her third one. And when I was first starting out and kind of comparing myself to my other classmates, like, oh, everyone else is getting clients like super fast, and I feel behind in that sense. And I was saying like, oh yeah, one of our classmates, like one of her friends is now coaching with her, and like she was just there to be like, well, this is my third business. These things take time, and also, this girl is coaching a friend. That's how you lose income and your friendship. And I was like, yep, that's true. So, um, yeah, those are my two mentors.
Love that. I have some mentors similar, like the external is kind of how I'm putting that 'cause they're
Yeah.
not like part of your direct team anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I have another financial advisor. He actually works for a competing firm, but we have very similar philosophies, and we meet once a week and we talk about where we're at and how things are going. Um, and similar to Nate's sister, he kind of keeps me pointed in the right direction when I'm going down a tangent or getting irritated. He kind of brings me back to reality. And um, he's just a super, super good guy. And we actually bounce business back and forth depending on who who has the appropriate setup to help a client. But he's just very grounded. He's very well read and very open to the law of reciprocity. Everybody who puts out positive energy gets it back. Um, and the second one isn't really an in-person, I've never even met him, mentor, but there's an author. He's a fairly prolific author by the name of Dan Sullivan. Um, and he has written quite a few philosophies that I have latched onto and have been following and really appreciate. And it's not just business, it's personal philosophies. The biggest philosophy that he's put out there that I really appreciate is called the gap and the gain, and it's a way of looking at how you are improving, measuring from your starting point to where you're at versus the ideal, and trying to measure yourself against perfection, which always gives you a negative connotation instead of seeing where you've come from. So it's those are kind of the two main guys that I really work with well, consider mentors.
Awesome. I'm gonna look that author up. Um, I'll share. So I would consider her a mentor. Again, I have not directly met her, although I have, well, Catherine Zankina, she runs Manifestation Babe, and she has a digital course platform on manifesting. Um, she is a mentor to me on like a massive scale, and like how can I start to build a life more like what this person has. And I've traveled a lot in the last year, and the woman that I made a decision last, I guess, 18 months ago or so now. Like, the saying, you are like most like the five people that you spend the most time around, something along those lines. I was like, I really need to do something different. That was before I started this. Um, and I was like, Catherine Zankina, she's kind of like my mentor in a way. How can I be more like her? How can I surround myself with people who are like that or make decisions like that, or even like close the gap of 6 degrees of separation or whatever it is. Like get close to that circle of people. Manipulative, maybe, but whatever. So I booked a trip with it was at the time, I had started own company. Um, Londa's been on this call a couple of times. And so like I really intentionally cultivated some friendships that are closer to that person. So that was like kind of a fun little challenge I put in place. Um, and then most recently, actually this morning, well, a few weeks ago, I joined a board of directors as a volunteer treasurer and secretary, based on this Harvard Business Review podcast, which again, something someone brought up in this call was like, what podcast are you listening to? And someone was like, Harvard Business Review. It's like, that's going to be thought-provoking, I'm sure. So anyway, fast forward, I joined this board of directors, and the founder was like, here are all these resources for, like, I don't have nonprofit experience at all. So I was going through these resources for the whole board to look at, and we decided as a team to implement getting mentorship from one of these three platforms that are free for nonprofit. They're, well, the one I chose is called SCORE, and I believe every state has one, and it's a SBA.gov based free mentorship program. And it's not for nonprofits, it's for small businesses to build, the state economy. So I signed up. I got immediately a response from a veteran CPA, and I was like, okay, like I was not sure what to expect out of this. It's a free program, so I had very low expectations as far as like what I was going to get out of it. Booked the meeting like 2 days from then. It was this morning. And I had an amazing call with this older gentleman who's in his 70s. So my initial reaction was like, I don't know if this is gonna be like, if the generational gap is going to work in this situation. But it 100% did. And he has an unbiased perspective, and I was able to share some things with him, and we came up with a plan. He's also going to send me some other mentors my way. We'll see what happens. But it was fun. I recommend everybody check that out if it's available in your area. No harm in trying. Um, Anyone else? Thoughts? Why? Why you allow someone to lead you? What qualities do they have?
Yeah, so I'll go. My mentor is actually not on this call tonight because he's too busy taking his last final tomorrow. But my best friend, Corey. So I come from a law enforcement background. I've never run a business a day in my life. Launched 23 months ago and just doing extraordinarily well. Corey and I are very similar, like physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially. We just get each other. And we kind of have that like cutthroat mentality. So regardless of how Cody's feeling about a certain situation, Corey's seeing beyond that. Because if we run a business based off feelings, we may not succeed. So Corey helps me visualize and see through the BS, to say the least, to help myself strive and grow. Because ultimately, not coming from like a business background or not having the proper support or the finances or whatever else, other individuals may have received. I was going in this completely blinded. I just was waking up every day, hated my 9 to 5, wanted to get out, but didn't know where to start. So Corey was able to help, put me on that path. And there's a lot that I've reconstructed and built myself. But even to this point now, it's like now I'm able to give him advice and help him based on that foundation that he laid for me. Because it's always nice to be mentored by somebody, but it's also very nice to have, a different perspective on a specific situation when you don't know how to overcome a specific obstacle, or maybe just something so minor that you're just overthinking. So I think whether it's like a very, very close friend, or Abigail, like you were saying, like, on a broad spectrum, like the mentor aspect. I mean, I've done work with the Elliott Group. So I'd say Andy Elliott's helped me the sales aspect, Eric Thomas from like the motivational speaking aspect. Like I snoozed my alarm this morning. It was 3:30. I'm like, why am I getting up? Then I'm like, okay, come on, let's go. So I think there's multiple on like that celebrity status level, but like one-to-one personal, definitely Corey. And don't tell him I said you that when he comes back next week. But
Our secret.
Yeah, he actually takes his last final tomorrow, so he's done, graduated, everything's going. So
Amazing. That's awesome. You know, you bring up an interesting point though about, and this is gonna sound really cliche, coming from the host of this group. This group has really, like, I feel like I'm held accountable to showing up here every week, and everybody comes with unique and different perspectives. And so I think this community in general is leading me in a more ethereal kind of way, like not quite so direct, but it's definitely leading me one way or another. New and different things are happening. AKA the Discord. Which I was just thinking, there is I believe there's a wins tab in there. Yeah, there is. If you're joined, share like daily wins in there, like something, it could be like something dumb, like someone just bought me a free 99-cent coffee at the gas station, or like something major, like you just accomplished a life goal. Um, Share in there because that's kind of like actually, there's a leader mentor named Andrea Crowder who is the mentor to my mentor. So like, this is me and my psychosis, like trying to like really expand in a big way. And she's got this chat thread on Vox or something, and it's just wins, and it's just like everybody dumping their wins in there to kind of raise the vibe of the whole community. Um, that's my intention with that chat thread, and hopefully that can cultivate some leadership within the community as well.
and just real quick, Abigail, to stack on that, like no matter how small it is, like for me personally, every single day that I wake up, my bed is made. If it is not
Yeah.
made, I don't care if I'm running late. I don't care if I'm whatever is going on in the day. First priority, make my bed. Routine creates, habits creates consistency, create consistency leads to success, and it's just all these small things that add up. So when it's like,
Mhm.
oh, I'll do it later, well, like they say, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So it's extremely important to correct the smaller cracks in the road, so there's no massive pothole that forms. And then it's like, well, now how do I get out of this? You know what I mean? So yeah, I love that you touch on wins because that's extremely important.
I think so too. Nate.
And to speak a little bit more about consistency, when you are choosing somebody, and leadership doesn't just have to be their like a boss, right? They're your boss, right? So when you're choosing somebody that you can confide in, trust in to lead you, right? That direction, that clarity. Always choose somebody that is consistent, right? If they're consistently the same way, that's kind of why I chose my little sister. I know that she's going to be the same way regardless. She's going to be hard headed. She's going to make sure I do the right thing. She's going to make sure that she's not like if I snap, she knows that it's just me snapping, like stuff that can look past, kind of like how Cody mentioned his mentor, his friend, like can just look past what's right now and just see the overall picture to keep you on track.
Yeah. Gary.
Thinking about wins, this is a quote from a coach I met recently, and she said, "Every situation is neutral. You can choose how you want to think about any circumstance." And she had a gal that she was coaching who was in a pretty terrible accident, ended up in a wheelchair, and lost one of her kids. And she was talking about how that lady was able to reframe, and it took some work, was able to reframe that experience into a positive learning experience for herself, and help not trap herself in a negative light. But you really can look at every day and find something that's positive, even if it's just a learning experience that you don't ever want to do that again.
Hmm. I find I'm going to talk about myself a little bit here, which I find myself leading others in that way. That's one of the like biggest takeaways. I mean, there have been a lot of big takeaways from the Manifestation Babe community. Um, there's always a silver lining, no matter how ugly a situation is, and I mean like, you know, everybody's seen some really ugly life events. There's always a silver lining in it. And so if someone is, super negative chatter around me, I I won't necessarily kick them out, kick them to the curb, but I will like redirect the situation every single time. And if the redirections, if it's going on an extended period, someone who's very, close to me or I spend a lot of time around, and it's still continuing, that's when they gotta go. Because it's the five people you spend the most time around. So, but I always, not, I don't think I do it in a toxic way because I can definitely also and harsh sometimes. But like if someone's complaining about traffic, or I mean, sometimes I'm complaining about traffic, but I know, the voice in the back of my head is like, there's a reason for this happening. Nate.
That's a good point. I think as a leader, you kind of got to dictate, or like not dictate, but you got to influence the energy in a room, right? If you're like, you got to understand like your authority. Like, if you come in with a bad mood, everybody's gonna have a bad mood. If somebody else comes in with a bad mood, you have the capability to say, "Hey, look at it this way," or kind of inspire them, motivate them to kind of shift the energy. I feel like that's very important in a leader.
Cody.
So I don't want to expand and like have a whole new conversation rolling, but I think I kind of want to ask a general question because I've been thinking about this lately from like a personal and a business perspective. Do you think the world's too sensitive? Like generalized focus, right? Because Nate, if you go into a room and all these people are so negative and miserable, and you're like happy, you got your Starbucks, mocha, fracca, whatever the hell they're making down. You know what I mean? Like you're just super energetic. Because I get this all the time. Like my roommate just sleeps till 10 minutes before he has to go to work. I'm up at 3 a.m. I go to the gym. I just have all these things in place. But I feel like if you were to do that, Nate, people may think you're cocky or you're arrogant or, you're putting on a facade of some sort of person in which you're not. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think everything's going to be this whole Instagram flashy, this is my life style. But I think that's a great question is like, is the world too sensitive?
Nate. And I'm going to raise my own hand.
Quick answer, yes. I think the world is too sensitive. Um, Second answer, I don't care that much. Like, I don't care what other people think. I feel like one, that's one, my whole brand. Two, like that's kind of like the energy that I want to instill in not only like me, but the youth, right? I think I might have talked about it previously in one of our calls. I got tattoos and I'm in a corporate setting. Like I run a corporate business. We deal with big clients, Spotify, Intel, and I walk into meetings with tattoos. I make jokes. I'm relaxed. I'm chill all the time. I'm happy. And when somebody is negative, I still keep the same thing. But that's kind of what I got into business for. Like we don't care what other people think. Like you can do what you want to a certain extent, do what you want and still be seen as a professional, still be seen like you can have tattoos, still get in business. You can have piercings, you can not look like this one person and still be the same way and still carry that authority. So I really like, yes, the world is sensitive, but you shouldn't care about the world, right? I think we influence the world. The world shouldn't influence us.
That's pretty much, you nailed it, what I was gonna say. The only other thing is like, you have to be authentically you. If for no other reason than you only get this one opportunity to be a human being. And if you're gonna be overly sensitive to what everybody else expects of you, and like, don't get me wrong, this is taking me, I'm 39 years old, this is taking me 38 and a half years. I'm like 6 months into this. Like, I don't give a fuck what people think. I don't. And I'm living my life for myself. I am also tattooed, pierced. Like, I run a very successful, like CFO professional business. And what I would consider a spicy industry, cannabis. And I just don't care. And I've gotten a lot of overt judgment about my lifestyle and the way I choose to present myself and the language that I choose to use when I'm doing it. And yeah, I think everybody is too sensitive, but also you'll niche out who is not meant to be in your circle by being more and more yourself. I'm gonna butcher your name, Kawana?
Kayana.
Kayana.
No
Kayana.
problem. So pretty much just so yes, I agree. People are too sensitive and pretty much what Nate was saying, picking back on. What I tell my clients and what I share on social media, I do talk about this topic kind of often, and I say people who are negative always have something to say, who are too sensitive, who are insecure and jealous, especially, they react that way because they don't focus on themselves enough. And you're the reminder of that. So that's the psychology behind it.
And just a touch, Abigail, I'm right there with you. I don't give a fuck, but
Yeah.
I just was curious to see other people's standpoint or perspective on that. That's all.
No, I think this is a really healthy conversation, especially and like just to tie it back to like how we each individually show up as leader. So it's right on brand. Winnie.
I agree with a lot of the things that you guys have been saying as well. Um, in my perspective, I don't think that people are too sensitive. The way that I reframe that is, everybody has their own experiences. Your experiences shapes your beliefs. Your belief shapes how you treat and perceive the world. And so whether that is, I tell my patients sometimes whenever, people are dealing with anxiety with how people perceive you and whether you're living your truth or not, and people always have an opinion. Everybody's going to have an opinion of who you are as a person. And the thing is that I always tell them, not everything is about you. The way someone treats you is not a reflection of who you are as a person. It's how their experience and shapes how they perceive you as a person in their own little perspective. So that's my little piece of it.
Absolutely.
Yep, 1,000%. Nate.
Winnie, I like that because I heard somebody say, and it's kind of like this guy was teaching like marketing how to be in front of the camera and all that, right? So we kind of make clients go through the little podcast just to see like how it feels to be on camera and all that. And what he said was, no one cares about you as much as you care about yourself, right? You think yourself is so big, so you're looking at every detail. People don't care how you sound, they don't care how you look, they just care about the information that they're getting. So it's basically like you're afraid to get on camera just because you're worried about other people when other people really don't care.
That mindset shift can has the potential to change everything. Cody.
I'll make this really, really quick. So Teddy Swims, Lose Control. We all know that song. I think he said it like how people talk to you is how they see you. How you allow people to talk to you is how you see yourself. So I understand like everybody has their own experiences and upbringing, cultural beliefs, etc. But I think still at the end of the day, you have to stand your ground, regardless of what it is. You know what I mean? Like I'm personally like an openly gay man that also happens to be conservative, and that doesn't mix well in the LGBTQ plus community. So, but I'm not going to refrain from who I am. But at the same time, I think it's just very important, Abigail, like you said, it's just like be authentically you. And at the end of the day, show up for yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you're not full of yourself, then who is? Like you should, Nate, walk into that room and be jamming out and drinking your coffee. Like, yes, like live it up, love life, be happy. But at the same time, I mean, I think there's a time and place, and I think everybody should respect one another, regardless of upbringings. But yeah, no, I just think it's just extremely important to understand and realize like you are you for a reason. If we were all here, the exact same person, look the exact same, that had the same habits and hobbies and whatever the case is, the world would be boring. So like each and every individual here is like significant in our own ways, which is what the United States and Australia, everything. That's what the world is all about. So I just think that's really dope. I love to hear all the different perspectives on it too.
Yeah, and I don't think it's I don't think you should let anybody dim like your confidence, right? And the more that you trust in yourself and the more that you carry yourself and care less about what other people think of you, where it's where that piece of understanding everybody have their own experiences makes you more confident and makes you um appear more confident, but that also doesn't mean that you're an ass.
Gary.
I find that a lot of times when people are hostile or challenging towards you and they can't see your perspective, it's just a reflection of them. It doesn't have anything to do with you at all. So is that individual too sensitive? Maybe, maybe they're just more insecure. Um, and it's not so much not caring or not giving a fuck as it is realizing that that individual is in a place that they're at. And I'm not going to let that hostility or
Sit
negativity
down.
derail me.
Sit.
Um, because it's really just a reflection of that person. They're they're reflecting what they think back at themselves, and it has nothing to do with you.
My dog, I'm sorry.
You're all
She
good.
is like right in my lap. She's driving me nuts. I wanted to bring it back to, well, manifestation, babe, a little bit. But also a couple of the key the key takeaways from my lessons with her. One is the world is a mirror. So what you put out is what you get back, but that also goes for the person you're interacting with. So like they're experiencing the world only from their perspective and you're only experiencing it from your perspective. So like when he said keep that in mind, but also even from a leadership standpoint, limiting beliefs are something that should be worked on a daily basis and acknowledging what they are and working through them and acknowledging what they are in other people and helping them if, they're open to it, work through that can also set you apart as a leader, I think. And it's a little bit different of a perspective than your average leader might have. Maybe I'm wrong about that though. Sadie.
That's one of the other things I love about working with Sasha. Like we were going through our end of year goals and I said, I want to get one more client. And she's like, well, that's great, but what about three more clients? What about four more clients? And she's like, don't sell yourself short. Like she'll be like, what's your revenue like goal? And I'd be like, oh, 5,000 a month would be great. Well, she goes, what about 10,000 a month? Like she always pushes that. Like if you keep focusing on that 5,000, yeah, you'll get it, but there's so much more like beyond that. So it's always nice to hear that.
Tayana.
Piggybacking off what Sadie just said about the whole, oh, I want to make $5,000. Okay, what about $10,000 instead? What we were taught when I was going through my coaching training was to say over $5,000. And so it could even be more than 5,000 or 10,000. And like when we were writing our contracts, like I want to make $100,000 my first year, say over $100,000 so you don't fully limit yourself.
I like that. It opens it up, but also creates like a bottom target,
Yes.
which I think keeping your options open in an expansive way is really important in goal setting and leading. Any other thoughts? I'm a little out of sorts because my dog is like really being a problem. So anyone have any other thoughts on all of that?
Bring her up in the camera. Let's see her.
Come here, Ripley. She's sitting at the door. She's she's a Cane Corso and she's about
Mm-hmm.
140 pounds. And for reference, I'm about 125 pounds. So it's she thinks she leads me, but she would be wrong. And it's here she is.
Oh, she is.
That's my 1800s cook stove, which I love dearly. Nate.
Quick question. What's everybody's leadership style, or what is your favorite way to lead?
That's a great question. And I want to take that a step further. Do you mean like with, I guess it should probably be the same in both scenarios, but maybe it isn't, with your team versus with your clients? For me, it would be a little bit
Both.
different.
That
Yeah.
is true. I think it is different for my team and my clients. So,
Mm. I'll go. With my team, I'm nurturing. Um, I allow them to take whatever space they need. It's a remote business, a remote job, so um I have expectations for who I hire, but then once they're hired, um, typically my typical team member is a stay-at-home mom. So I give a lot of space for their families, and I also try to make sure that they're learning at the same time. So if we're on the phone and I'm working through a client problem with them and a kid screaming in the background, like totally go take care of that. Whatever we're doing is not an emergency. However, when I'm in a client's office, I am, it's kind of like the tough love situation. Like I'm very direct. Um, I'm, I take on a lot of like, I guess emotional responsibility for their well-beings. Like in other words, I get super passionate about injustices or if they've had a service provider in the past that's been not taking care of them. The industry I serve is very, very niche. It is very regulated. It is federally illegal, as everyone knows. So there's a lot of things that go on that are like a wide range of acceptability. So, but there's case studies and lawsuits and stuff like that that help establish a procedure, and not everybody's versed on it. And when I see big missing expenses, I get super upset about it. Um, so I lead from that way, like kind of aggressively, passionate, a little bit forceful, and they like it. I wrote down, someone asked me, I was on a call like just before this, like, what's your brand voice? And I didn't share this with the group, but I'm going to share it right now. It's like financial dominatrix. It's very forceful. That would be the voice. But with my employees, it's very like mother hen, kind of your best girlfriend, but also like let's get it done. Anyone else?
So when I am being led in a corporate business world situation, or I'm leading in that situation, I like clear vision, clear end goal, um, support as needed to achieve that goal, but otherwise get the hell out of my way and let me do it. And that's what I expect of people that I hire. I will give you the goal, I will give you the tools, and if you need help, ask. If I see you're floundering, I might step in and help. But for the most part, I want to get the hell out of your way and let you do it. You're a professional, you're an adult. I hired you to be a professional and adult. So get the result done. And that's what I expect.
I like that.
Um, when it comes to clients, um, I like to be blunt with their financial situation. Um, and I like to be blunt with where they're going to land if they keep going the way they're going. Some people have it all put together and they just need some tweaks and have some adjustments that can help. Most people, um, they don't have a rudder in their boat at all. They're not steering. They're just kind of going wherever it happens to go, and you have to be pretty blunt with them. I'm not mean. I don't tell them they're stupid. None of that stuff. We just figure out where they're at. We find where they want to be and kind of help them clarify where they want to be, give them a direction, and give them a choice. And I always say, this is a professional recommendation, personal decision. But if you keep going down the road you're going down, you're going to be bankrupt in 10 years. Or um, if you keep accumulating debt the way you're accumulating debt, you're never going to dig out of it. Um, whatever that conversation has to be. But I like to be firm, but leave them still in the driver's seat as the adult. They can make the choice. And if they
Right.
choose not to make a positive choice, then we shouldn't be working together in the first place.
That's sometimes where things get hard. And I have a follow-up question, but for Sadie.
So I'm definitely like a servant leadership, which makes sense to why I do what I do, like overall well-being and like growth of like the group. But also I am situational. So like if there's a time and a place where like I need to step in and like say something like I do, it's very like kind of like a quiet strength, I guess. But for the overall part, I'm very like, what do you need? Let's guide through this.
I like that. I like the language you used as well. Brooke.
Yeah, I thought Gary's answer was really interesting, just about like having to be blunt about like a client's financial situation. And we were actually in one of my classes given like a situation where, you're paying, the client is ultimately paying the law firm's bills. So like you have to, of course, like put things in the most friendly way possible. But you also need to be blunt with whatever advice you're giving. So we had like a compliment sandwich technique where you put like, some like really positive stuff first and then put like the negative stuff in the middle and then end with positive. And I thought that was just really useful because I'm not a very forceful leader. So it's like that way you're just like taking control of the situation, meeting your professional obligations, but also like letting them hear like the truth.
I have used that compliment sandwich before, and it works very well. As it works for the recipient, but it also works for you so that you have like some stability in going into a difficult conversation with someone you care about. Emily.
Yeah, I use that one too, and it's really helpful. And I think it's a good word of stability for sure. For me personally, I never responded well when people are like telling me what to do, like directly. So the way that I've learned my own type of leadership is by leading by example. And it's more of offering perspective to people, like to either clients or people. I'm offering them a perspective for them to either see whether it benefits them or not. So that's kind of how I approach things, where I'm like, this is okay. I first hear them. I like to first see their perspective, like more than anything. And then it's like, oh, yeah, that makes like taking that in and then kind of sharing my perspective and seeing if that's something they resonate with.
Much gentler than me. Like so much gentler. I have a follow-up question for everybody. Do you like being led the same way you lead others? Yeah. No? Nate, care to elaborate?
Okay, so for me, I think just being in the marketing and creative space, like most people, like Gary said, are professionals. So when I'm leading a client, like when I lead my team, I lead clients, I'm take more of the big brother approach, right? Mention my little sister, right? So, but I take that approach to everybody that's on my team, whether it's the clients, whether it's our videographers, our media team, right? I just take that big brother approach. Obviously, clients get more tougher love just because you have to kind of drill in to them like what they need to be doing in terms of getting the results that we need. For our team, like I kind of just relax. I go in jokes, whatever. Like I make a lot of jokes. Everybody takes business too serious. I always say that. So I make sure that my team tries not to take business so serious. Yeah, get the job done, but also I know y'all professionals. That's why I hire y'all. That's why I pay y'all. Right. And we're still creators at the same time, right? We gotta be creative and can't be creative when you're too serious. But when I'm letting them lead me, or like say I let Trey, that's our videographer, like the head of our videographer team. So like handle a video project, and I just like I don't know a lot about video, right? So I expect him to lead me. I'd rather him just do it and like don't say like or tell me what I need to do, right? Rather than like the collaborative approach. I'd rather just like sit back and like kind of let you take the wheel. Like, hey, you're a professional, lead me. Like, tell me what to do and I'll do it. As opposed to like when I'm leading them, I'm more like, how do you want this done? Come on, like the big brother approach. Like, all right, we want to do it like this. How do you think about that? Like, I'd rather just be like more so a dictator. Like, just direct me. Tell me what I need to do so I can relax and not think about anything.
Yeah, I get that. That kind of sounds like Sadie's vibe too, a little bit, like the servant-based leadership also. Gary.
So when I first started doing this, I was a lot more gentle with clients and would like try and coax them down the right road. And what I found was they actually wanted that more firm direction of exactly what you're saying, Nate. Just tell me what to do. I'm hiring you because you're the professional. Just tell me what to do so that I don't have to think about it. So it was actually a shift in me over the last couple of years, from being more of a gentle leader, which is more my natural inclination, to realizing it wasn't working and needing to a bit more firmly give them a direction. So,
Yeah, clients are hard headed.
yeah,
Sometimes you gotta just keep beating into.
yeah.
Well, clients are expecting results like that,
Hmm.
and you kind of, Nate, I was going to bring this up after, but you went there on your own. You know, at least for me, the reason I'm like more assertive and aggressive, I mean, it is kind of my personality, but my clients are expecting results, and they're expecting different results than the person they were with previously, and they're expecting better and bigger results. And I have the background and the experience to provide those results. And if they're not going to be held accountable for wanting those results, I'm going to remind them of that. And if they will step out of the way, I will just do it all for them, which is like part of my leadership where I mean, this is like a little bit off, but like try to establish trust in that I am brutally honest and I have the means and the abilities to get this done. If you were to just get out of the way, this wouldn't be a problem for you. I can handle it. Who just had their hand raised?
That was me, but you literally
Yeah.
just touched on everything. Like when
Mm,
I first got into the just sales in general, I was like, everybody needs life insurance, and I'm trying to overcome 17 objections on one sales call that takes 3 hours, right? And now I'm closing deals and writing applications in 10 to 15 minutes,
mm-hmm.
generally speaking, right? So it's just like I think when you're dealing with those people and kind of like you were saying, like you're the professional, they are not. If
Right.
they were, they'd be taking care of this on their own. So that's why they're reaching out to you. So I've got to the point now, like, Abigail, you are going to fucking die. Do you want life insurance or do you not? Period. Like, if you don't, that's fine. That's great.
Yeah.
But I had a client that was like, oh, let me think about it. 3 days later, he passed away, and his wife had my contact information from the previous call, expecting me to file the death claim. And I'm like, he never got anything put in place. Like nothing ever was finalized. So it's kind of like, oh, I'll think about it, or I'll do this or do that. I'm not saying to like force feed somebody, but also like there's, regardless of the product, everybody has that buyer's remorse. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, why did I just do that? Okay, no, I did that. Or, you know, like it's just, you have to get them out of their own way because if not, then they won't do it. And then it's like, when is enough enough? And also, Nate, and that I had a quick question for you, Nate, too. So when you're saying like chill vibes in the workforce, I get that. Are you personal friends with your colleagues?
I think majority. I met them when I was working at another agency, so we
Mm-hmm.
built that rapport. So, yeah, pretty much like my videographer I was close with. We talked about the idea. Um, so yeah, I would consider them friends for the main group, not so
Yeah.
much the newer people. So like, and it's still a small team, right? We got about 15 people. um, in-house. But I'll say about probably six or seven are close. Like we
Mm-hmm.
understand the vision, we understand what Legend Initiative is, where I want it to be, and we know how to execute. We're more so they more so act a lot like me, right? In terms of I wouldn't say militant. I think I'm more militant than them, but in terms of we need to hit this goal and this is how we do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And follow this path, and then whatever comes around, we just kind of knock off essentially, like kind of like the sports team, right? I feel like that's kind of the main group. We act kind of like a sports team, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to other people that we hired outside of that that didn't just come from like a partnership or whatever. They're more, I wouldn't consider them friends. We're close. Like I like to make sure that like if you're helping me reach my vision, I'll help you reach yours. But that's about like cool, I guess. I'll say we cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say
So
it
the that word, camaraderie, whatever, you know what I'm talking about,
modern.
Abigail. That thing. It's
Yeah.
there. But like, so my experience with that, and I know we're about to close this up, but I've had people that I've brought like, okay, so we had a new hire, right? Never met him a day in his life, and then we become friends versus hiring a friend or family member on. And then when you hire them on, I feel like that leniency is there. And then that starts to affect personal relationships and then work performance. So that's why I've always avoided that. Like, if you have questions, call me, text me, email me. Great, we can connect. But like me and David aren't kicking it outside of the workday. You know what I mean? Just because I don't want to hinder that ability for us to come to work and then it's just socially awkward. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying it's wrong. I just have had bad experiences with that. So now I'm just like, I'm friendly and cordial, but at the same time, I'm very cutthroat about it. Like, this is the mission. This is what we have to do. I'm in the trenches with you, but I'm not holding hands. You know what I mean?
I also think that it depends on your industry, right? And it depends on what core group that you actually have that you kind of build that like camaraderie with. I was about to mess up the word too. But I think that's what it is. Like understanding like if you was here last week, I talked a lot about a sports team and how we act and how we like willing to die for each other more so. I feel like when you're in the creative agency, when you're trying to take on these juggernauts, when you are in this space, you kind of got to build a team like I wouldn't say that the new people look, yeah, I would say this. Like I have my starting five. If this is basketball, I have my starting five that I'm cool with, friends with, brothers, sisters, all that. That we can actually like we know how to go to war with each other. And then we have bench players that we might trade. We might trade if they don't get the results that we want, right? So I think it's always like think about it from that perspective when it comes to my team and Legend Initiative is just we got our starting five, we got our six man, but everybody else is interchangeable if y'all don't hit these results. We're still cool. We still have that camaraderie, but y'all can get traded.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew, Nate, but the Patriots are the number one team in the NFL right now. So we got a
Boom,
quarter.
boom,
We
boom.
won't, that's a whole nother session. I'm just saying, as a fellow Patriots fan. But
Oh my God. Winnie.
I
Oh
forgot I
yeah,
raised my
Winnie.
hand. Sorry. But
Oh, it's okay.
oh no, but I think both of you have very like different perspectives on like how your leadership um styles are, right? And I think that like also highlights like the really like a big importance on like setting personal boundaries and what it is for you, right? Like your work management and being able to separate like your personal or your professional self personalities. I think that's really important. And I think it depends on like who you are as a person too. So
I was going to add to that, Cody. I have a strict policy. I do not hire friends or family. I have tried and it does not work. And it's also a boundary issue where I find it, this is my business, this is my baby, this is my everything. And um, for some people, I mean, people approach me all the time because it's like data entry and everybody thinks they can do data entry. Although I see it as a whole lot more than data entry, which is why I won't like take on a friend who's like, "Hey, I'm having shoulder surgery in a week and I'm going to be out of work. Like, do you have work for me?" And it's like this is not like the thing that's coming to mind is like this is not a cleaning business. Like this isn't just like a one size fits all situation. Like I hire I hire people with accounting degrees because I think that knowing a balance sheet is really important and it is what justifies the rate that I bill at. So I can't just have someone come in and think that plugging numbers into a box is like gonna be sufficient. Um, yeah, so what are your expectations of that team member? Are they a bench player that you're ready and willing to trade, or are they your starting five? Like if your expectation is that you're ready to trade them and they're just like keeping a seat warm, then that's like a whole nother thing. Like hire the friend or family member because it's gonna be temporary. Maybe. Gary.
So I don't do friends or family, and my philosophy came from my early career in the Army. Um, so when you get promoted, you get moved. You take on a different group of people because they don't want you to favor the soldiers that you got to know and you grew up around and learned. And when your commanding officer gets promoted, he gets moved and you get a new one. Um, and it's the same thing that in that professional setting, you can't favor one person above another. You need to have a leader who can objectively look and see. And I have done some business deals with family before, and it's always been disastrous because they always expect leniency. And when you're not, it creates problems. So
Yeah.
for me, my experience and the early experience of what I learned to, I mean, Army management's different than other corporate environments or whatever, but it was definitely a shift away from family and friends kind of situation. Not that we didn't have fun. I mean, my very first squad, my very first platoon that I ever was in charge of, we had fun and we were buddies. But when I came in and took over, I didn't know them, and they had to show me that they could actually do their jobs. And some of them that had been kind of coasting easy had to have the shit kicked out of them. You know, it's just the way it was. So I shy away from the friends and family thing.
Nate.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think it's very important to set boundaries with everybody and for them to know. Like I said, people don't follow me, they follow the vision. Like to understand, like we're trying to, in sports terms, again, we're trying to win a championship. So if you're not conducive to the championship, like, and I feel like also, I think one of my personality, like I'm not mean, kinda. Don't ask my team that. But but I'm very, very competitive in everything. So with that, like I kind of take that towards like Legend Initiative, the business, like get into the vision. Like I have to get to this vision. I have to win a championship. Right. So they know how I am when it comes to competition. And like a lot of times the people I hire, they play sports. So I feel like that's kind of like the things that come into play. Like you have to know, like I have to produce results or I'm gonna get benched or I'm not gonna play or I'm not gonna get no minutes. Like you have to be able to kill when you get on the court or kill in whatever expertise that you have. And also, I feel like I never had that conversation. Hopefully, I don't ever have that conversation where I had to let somebody go because they're not doing what they need to be, right? They're not executing on a high level. Cody, kick Cody out, kick Cody out, kick Cody out. Uh,
Nate, he's executing at a very high level. I just wanted to remind. I agree with you. I agree with you.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Glad to
I
do that.
used to be a
I
pretty
don't like
big
Cody, man.
Patriots fan, and then I stopped watching sports altogether.
Me
And
and Cody
I'm
was locked in until this. Found out he's a. Oh, oh, what's
Die
up?
hard Boston all around since day one, 2000.
oh,
And my Eagles
Sadie,
is
are
going
you
terrible.
in the Discord?
Yeah, I
You are?
am. Hmm.
Yes, okay. Cody, I'm sending it again.
Yeah, I just clicked the link, so we're good. I just gotta accept the
Awesome.
invite. That's all.
I had a scare right before the call. I sent my message out about what I was gonna talk about, and um the thread, the community, I don't know what the proper language is here, like disappeared. And I was like, did I get kicked out of my own Discord? Like, what is going on here? But I just relaunched it and it came right up. So, on that note, Ripley is desperate for me to take her out again because she loves the snow and doesn't do her business because there's snow and fun to be had out there. So now she's got to go again. Um, so join the Discord. Cody, you're the only one. Alexandra, if you're listening still, you might even be in here. I have a couple questions that just came up, and I'm going to drop them in the Discord so we can keep it going. This has been a great conversation.
Agreed.
Um, Next week is going to be the last call for 2 weeks. We'll return on the 8th of January, which is crazy. Um, I mean, just like my Thanksgiving, I don't have any plans. If anybody wants to hop on a call, I can be here for that. Same with New Year's. I'm gonna be like snuggled under a blanket on New Year's Eve, like probably in bed. So, something to think about though, as I guess as we bring up New Year's Eve, someone asked me the other day, do you have a word for the new year? No need to answer it now, but I'll drop that in the Discord too. Something to think about. Cody, do you want to share a quote with us?
Yes. Okay, so back in 2007, when the New England Patriots, I'm just kidding. No, I'm great that the conversation.
2007, I'm pretty sure they won. All of New England won
Well,
all
one of
of
304,
everything
so
in
yeah, I mean,
2007.
It's a good thing you
listen,
guys are at least a couple states apart.
we were very bad,
You're
Nate, for
not a
like the
Jets
last
fan,
five
are
years.
you,
Okay.
Nate? Okay. Giants? Or are
Eagle,
you like Ravens or something?
Eagles.
I don't mind
Eagles.
them. They just beat us in the Super Bowl once, but we have like six more than them. Who's counting? Um, no, I'm glad that Nate brought up the whole basketball ordeal because the quote that I was going to share was from Jack Welch, who was the former CEO of General Electric. And I know that because I used to live in Erie, Pennsylvania, where GE, yeah, blew up. Anyways, he says, before you are a leader, success is all about growing yourself. When you become a leader, success is all about growing others. I think when we think about that, it's like me, and I got to do everything because it has to be done a specific way and it's got to be perfect and da da da. So, like when Nate's talking about his business and everything that's going on within the process, I'm sure there's a lot of things that are duplicatable in which we can plug and play systems. So, if we bring somebody into this establishment, they can do it just as well as we can. Because if you consistently work and work and work and work, then when you're sleeping, there's no money being generated. And when you bring in those people to establish those roles and to take over, Cody's sleeping, bank account's growing. You know what I mean? It's just consistent. So I think we should always be our first priority regardless, but it should get to that point of like, now we're going to start delegating. Okay. Now Abigail's going to do this. Nate's going to do that, so on and so forth. But I think we just get so consumed as air quotes, small business owners in not, like you said, I mean, like this is our baby. You know what I mean? So it's like, yes, treat it as if so, but then we also have to give that trust and worthiness to these other individuals to handle it as well.
Sound like you've read the E-Myth.
Sound like I read the what?
E-Myth.
I have never.
Spell
Yeah,
that,
that's,
Gary?
I'll drop in the chat. It's called the E-Myth.
Oh, as I thought. Okay. but I was gonna spell it one word.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh
guys.
no, you know what, Gary? I've never read a full book from beginning to end. Honestly, I get in and get out, brother. Get my
I listen.
information.
Cody, I'm dying right now.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
mean, I get it, but also
Never 30 years of existence. Just
I
don't care
used to
too much.
do Cliff Notes in high school and I was like an honor roll AP and I was cheating my way through English. Math, I loved. Math, I loved. I was reading the actual this, oh God. I mean, Gary, I don't know how
I
old you are.
read I read 40 or 50 books a year. I read a ton
I
because
can tell that you do.
there's so
I really
much
should, Gary. I agree. I agree. Send me book
there's
recommendations.
there's so much experience and knowledge, and you can shorten your learning curve so much. And when I say read, I listen to a lot of books.
Listen, yeah,
Mhm.
me too.
So
Yeah, Spotify Premium
Cliffnotes.com
suits for that.
yeah.
Yeah.
back in 2002 when the internet just started to exist. That's how I would read my books. Cliffnotes.com. Oh my God, he creeps it up. Um,
Anyways, no, I'm glad to be back. I think today was very, very, very good. Very good.
Cody, you can leave. Well, it
I,
was it was a great meeting, everybody. See
it's
y'all next
wonderful.
Tuesday. Cody, you don't have to come. Unless you
Cody, this will be on Wednesday at 6 p.m. next week. See you then.
No, I appreciate all
Uh,
the energy today. I needed it. I've been grinding out here like no other, so it's definitely nice to reconnect, that's for sure.
Good. Glad
yeah,
to have you. Yeah,
it's
glad
good
to have
stuff.
all of you. See you next week.
Have a good weekend.
You too. Thank you guys.